All right, today in the day, the Corsa is going to go on the CT4 V Blackwing. Before we jump into the whole video, I do want to say that Corsa offers an insanely great military or first responder discount. So if you're looking at Corsa and you're a military, first responder, prior military vet, whatever you are, reach out to Corsa, send them an email and ask if they have a discount code. It's an absolutely phenomenal discount code. Reach out to them and ask. But if you don't meet that criteria and you don't want to wait, I think they have sale like once or twice a year. If you don't want to wait for that and you do need a discount code, you can always use code RAMA. It'll save you a little bit of money. But again, there are sales every year, and the military first responder discount far exceeds what RAMA will ever get you. Now, before I get too far into this, I am going to say that I do have a bias towards Corsa. I do think that they're an absolutely amazing company. It's all made in the United States. They, like I just said, they give a great military discount, which I always appreciate company for. So I just want to go on record by saying that I love Corsa. So if any of that comes out in the video, I'm sorry, but we all have biases, and I definitely have a bias towards Corsa. I think they're a great company, and I can't wait to put this exhaust on the wife's car. With that being said, we're going to get right into it. So here we got the quick jacks. I'm going to lift it up with the quick jacks, get it suspended up in the air, and yeah, then get underneath it and start unboxing and see what we got. Now, if you're here for just the sound clip portion of it, I'll try. I don't know if I can, but I'll try to put the time right now where you could just fast forward to the sound clips. But this is going to be a full comparison install. We're going to look over instruction. We're going to get the car up in the air. We're going to see what it takes to actually bolt this kit on. Obviously, I'm doing it at home in my home garage, so we'll see how this goes. Let's go. Okay, so you can see the lift pad right there. I did do a video because you do have to modify the rocker panel, which I'm worried about, but it's not a big deal. There's a video on how I installed those. But we got the quick jacks underneath it and semi lined up. Let's get it in the air. All right, got the car lifted up with plenty of room underneath, so let's get into what we have here. So, for everybody interested, this is Corsa 21317 BLK. The BLK just means that it has the black tips. That's what I put on the Camaro. I'm gonna make them matching. So, let's get this unboxed and see what all comes in the kit. Opening box 1 of 2, and right away we got great presentation of the instruction with your sticker, and then as always great expansion foam packaging. I won't bore you with this part. I'll get everything out and then we'll see what we got. Open up box 2, and there's a sticker here which I had no idea. Receive your limited lifetime warranty by registering your product. I don't know what all that entails. I'm sure it's your craftsmanship or workmanship or whatever, but I didn't know, of course, that had a lifetime warranty, even if it is limited. Okay, here's everything that were in the boxes. So box 1 was the X-pipe and the required hardware for it, and then box 2 was the actual muffler hardware. It looks like extension harnesses for the valves, and then whatever tips that you ordered. So if you only get the axle back, this is what you're going to get right here. If you, I don't know why, but if you only get the X-pipe, that's what you get. And then when you get both kits together, they combine the two kits. I'm going to try not to bore you too much with the process. Give me like 20 seconds. So I just wanted to point out that on the difficulty, this isn't in color, so it looks like they're claiming it's 3 wrenches out of 5 for difficulty. But the instructions are good. I mainly use it for the picture to see which pipes go where. But so far the instructions are good. Just glossing through them. You're going to have to remove some stuff. It looks like most of everything done with just regular hand tools. You should probably have, a socket set, a wrench set, probably a torque wrench, and I'll show it while I'm doing it. But if you don't have one of these rubber grommet removers, I know they're hard to see, you can pick them up on Amazon for super cheap. I'll show you more in detail when we're tearing it apart, but I highly suggest picking that up. And then it looks like a couple turn wrenches and a couple of plugs, and voila, the stock exhaust comes off all in one piece, which is great, because I want to keep it in one piece for right now. Now I will say in the instruction, they say that there's some cutting. On the Camaro, there absolutely was, even with the X-pipe, but I think on this car, we'll see when we get into it, but I think if you're doing the X-pipe and the exhaust from Corsa, you're not going to have to cut anything. It's if you only want to do the X-pipe, or if you only want to do the axle back, then you're obviously going to have to cut something, because you need to mount that to the stock X-pipe or mount the X-pipe to the stock exhaust if you're going to go that route. So I don't think there's any cutting involved, but yeah, looking through the instruction, it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty straightforward. I don't even know if I would give it a 3. I think lifting the car is going to be the hardest part of all of this process. All right, first thing the instructions say, you have to remove all these are plastic, but it's that bolts. Remove all the bolts. This plastic panel has to come down to access. This cross brace has to come out, and 2 of the bolts are underneath the plastic. So you got, it says 7 per side. There are little pockets up in here. There's like this one that holds the cooler line for the rear diff on. You just got to take all them out. It says 10 millimeter, 7 per side, and then drop this down to gain access to the bolts. Take note of this when you're taking them off and putting them on. So I don't even have a ratchet on this, and I can just grab it by hand and turn them. So just take note of that. Don't over tighten these when you're putting them back in. That's every bolt that I've touched so far with this socket. I've just turned it by hand, and I can take them off all by hand without any tool besides the socket. Okay, got it down enough where I can get in here and get access. I think I'm going to leave it like that for now. Do take note that the 2 bolts holding the cooler line on, they do have the little metal keepers on them. So you don't have to take them all the way out. Just take them out of the frame and then swing the whole bracket and bolt out of the way. But yeah, they have a little metal keeper on. I'm going to try to put those back on when I'm putting it back together. Okay, cross brace is out. Be aware, you can see it on this one kind of. The stock bolts for that cross brace do have some sort of thread lock on it. It looks pink. I highly doubt that it's red Loctite, but I think I'm going to put blue back on it just to be safe when I'm putting it back together, but you do what you want. All right, I'm going to do the next, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5, 6 steps, whatever they are, all in one go, because they're pretty simple. Loosen the clamp on the driver's side. I guess you have to pry this up. It must be some sort of lock, but loosen the clamps, pry this up, loosen these 2 bolts. Luckily that car is pretty new, so these should come out okay, but definitely spray them with lube. Then we're gonna go all the way back here. Then you use that tool that I'm telling you about to remove this. I'll show you that in a minute. To remove both rubber grommets from both sides. Then you come all the way back out here. Grommets again. You gotta do all 4 grommets. Then back here at the tailpipe, up in here, you can't really see it. Trust me, there are 2 nuts there, and there's a electrical connector here. So remove the electrical connector, then remove the 2 nuts, and the whole exhaust comes out. So yeah, let's do that. All right, this is the specialty tool I'm talking about. Not required. I think I got it on Amazon for 15 bucks or something like that. But here's why I like it so much. If you spray this with a little bit of lube, it makes it even easier. I ran out. But with this tool, you can either fight these or you can just do that. So there it is. It's out. It's over. This makes it just easier. I know you don't need it for this. You can just pry them off with a pry bar screwdriver. I've done it before. Just makes it easier. For the electrical connector, hard to see it. So it's back in there, but looking at the new ones, there's a little gray tab right here that is obviously a lock. So you're gonna have to slide that to the rear, and then I think you can push down. So I'm gonna use a pick to try to pop that to the rear and then get it disconnected. That worked perfectly. So you just pull that, it doesn't take hardly any pressure. Pull that gray piece backwards a little bit until it clips out of there, and then just push it down and it flexes and releases. Okay, got the stock exhaust out. It's pretty easy to get down. It does say that they highly recommend that you have 2 people. It was just me. I laid underneath it, held the muffler portion of it, and braced the X-pipe with my knees. The only real, like, kind of semi-difficult part was clearing all this stuff from the diffuser. So just be patient with it, and as long as you have a little bit of upper body strength, you'll be fine. You just kind of wiggle it and move it and get these to come off of the bolts, the studs that are sticking out, and then you just drop it down. So yeah, stock exhaust out. That went pretty easy. So tool list, I'll give you a tool list at the very end. A couple of things that I've noticed so far. This gasket right here off of the stock cat passenger side, I don't see one in the kit. Maybe it's in there, but I don't see it in any of the stuff. I'm gonna take a look in the boxes again. If I were them, I would have put it like with the instructions. So I'm gonna take a look again, but if I'd have known that, I'd have ordered one of these. The car had 3,500 miles on it, so I'm gonna put it back together the way it is. But putting it all together, pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if I'm gonna use the clamps provided because I don't know if they're the right diameter. But this clamp is provided so then if you're just putting on the X-pipe, then you can mount it back to the factory exhaust, the factory muffler. I'm gonna see which clamp that I use. I'll update you on that. But really, I'm just gonna build it, and you don't tighten anything down. You just snug everything up, and I'm gonna build it from the front of the car to the back, putting on some of the clamps and stuff just to hold everything and get it loose fit. So that'll take a little bit of time. I'm not gonna bore you with it. I'll come back once I got everything loose fit, and I'll update you on where I put what. Quick update, I have the X-pipe mocked in. For the instructions, so the instructions that they provided on the box, in box 1, were only for the X-pipe. So this, you got to use this. All of their instructions are in color on their website. So if you just go to the exhaust that you ordered, it has installation instructions. So that's where I'm at now. I'm at the mufflers. The muffler can be kind of complex. You know, you got to get the right side, the passenger and the driver. And just for your information, they have part number for every piece, and there's a sticker on every piece. So if you're not sure if you're dealing with the right, the left, the passenger side, the driver's side, before, after the muffler, whatever, find the part number in here in the parts description. There's a sticker. There's a sticker on every piece with the part number. So then you can just lay it out and mock it up and get it, you know, looking like it's supposed to go on the vehicle. So then you know every passenger and driver's side, left and right. All right, anyway, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go to the section on here where it's crossing there we go, the valves over. So you have to take off the actuating valves off of your stock muffler and put them onto the Corsas. So I'm going to find the passenger and driver side, mock those out so I know which one which, and then I'm going to start swapping over the actuators. Okay, so got it all on and lined up the way that I like it. Is it perfect? Probably not, but it's good enough. But let's jump underneath and I'll just walk you from the cat's back to just take a look at how everything turned out. Okay, so what I ended up doing, I used the supplied clamp because it comes with two if you're only using the X-pipe to the stock exhaust. I'm not, so I used one of them right here, or else you can reuse the stock one. Like I said, if I were to do that over again, I would order a gasket when I, ordered the exhaust. Keep that in mind. Now, keep coming down. There's the first set of clamps for the X-pipe. Here's the brace. Got that all back installed. Plenty of room, plenty of flex room. It's not going to flex too much, but I can almost stick a whole finger on one side and all the way up to the second knuckle on the other side. First knuckle on one side. So to me, that's good. then keep coming back. You got the Corsa Performance tag there. Got your first set. I like, whenever I'm trying to snug all this down and get it aligned, I really reference these to make sure that they're just straight up and down and sitting as flat as possible. And I keep twisting and torquing everything until they do sit the way I want them to. Now we're still on the X pipe. I just spun around so we can keep going down. I kind of fibbed. Some of the part number aren't correct on the page. So this way is the passenger side. So 4092 2204, and then the muffler, just reference this one. This is the driver's side, is 2203. If you're questioning yourself, the hanger, go to the bottom of the muffler and then up to the hanger on both of them. So going from the bottom up to the top. And then here's your little strap that connects the two. As you can see, there's a lot more room underneath here. I didn't weigh them. I'm not gonna weigh them, but you gotta think that it probably does reduce weight, just seeing how big that other muffler is. I'm gonna zip tie the harnesses out, but the extension harnesses are here. And then here's your two pipes again. The part number, the hanger goes on the big pipe on the 3-inch, loops around. This is the passenger side, loops around the outside and then points towards the rear. So that should help you get the right part in the right place. I don't think I can see. Oh yeah, 4334 is the passenger side of the 3-inch tip, and then 4102 is the passenger side of the small, the 2.5-inch or whatever it is. So that will help you. 4104, the 2-inch on the driver's side, and 4333 is the 3-inch on the driver's side. But there you have it, all installed and ready to be fired up for the first time. I'm pretty excited to see how this sounds. All right, let's go over a tool list real quick. So obviously you have to have something to get the car off the ground. Whatever you choose for that, you need that. I used a creeper to make things easier. Channel locks to pinch the clamps back together when you're an idiot and you go the wrong direction, and zip these off. Then yeah, they're a pain to get back together. So channel locks to pinch them back together. Ratchets, you only need one, but it helped me having 1/4 inch and 3/8. Both of these sockets are 10 millimeters. 13 and 15 millimeter ratcheting wrenches, not required, but definitely makes life easier. 13 and 15 millimeter deep well sockets, 13 millimeter shallow socket, a couple of extensions, that tool that I told you about for the rubber grommets, got it off of Amazon, some Loctite, a pick, and then something to pry if you need to pry, right? Every once in a while you need to use a pry bar or whatever. So I didn't really use this stuff, but I always have it. And then soapy water to get the rubber grommets back on. And then I used an impact just to make life easier. Technically you don't need it, but good luck getting them clamps clamped all the way down. Yeah, I had to clamp, tighten them, loosen them like 10 times to try to get it aligned the best that I can. So there you have it. Thanks for watching the install. That finishes the install portion of this video. Now let's hear what it sounds like, especially compared to stock, and see if it's worth it.